Indian Navy Day 2024, a journey from ancient seas to modern power. On December 4th, we observe Indian Navy Day, a day dedicated to honoring the bravery, legacy, and unmatched skill of the men and women who serve in the Indian Navy. Today, we take a deep dive into the history of our Navy, one that stretches back thousands of years, and explore its transformation from ancient seafarers to a formidable force on the global stage. We journey through the prehistoric origins, the glorious past, and the shining present of the Indian Navy. This is a story of strength, courage, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. All the way back in prehistoric times, the Indus Valley Civilization, which flourished around 2500 BCE, was one of the earliest maritime cultures. Evidence suggests that the people of the Indus Valley had established robust trade routes with Mesopotamia and other regions, using boats and early forms of ships to navigate the seas. The coastal cities of Dolavira and Lotal even had sophisticated dockyards, revealing the advanced maritime capabilities of that time. Fast forward to around 600 BCE, and we begin to see the development of naval prowess in the Indian subcontinent through the Chola dynasty in the south. Known for their powerful navy, the Cholas mastered sea travel and launched successful expeditions to regions like Southeast Asia, spreading Indian culture and influence across vast seas. The Chola Navy was instrumental in the rise of maritime trade, making the southern shores of India a central hub of naval power. By the medieval period, India had already earned a reputation for its maritime expertise. The Maratha Empire, under the leadership of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, gave a new dimension to naval warfare. In the late 17th century, Shivaji's navy was born out of necessity to protect the western coastline from foreign powers. His admiral, Kanhoji Angre, became a legendary figure, waging numerous successful campaigns against the Portuguese and the British. The Maratha Navy's victories not only safeguarded India's coastline, but also asserted India's position in the global maritime map. However, with the arrival of the British East India Company in the 18th century and the eventual establishment of British colonial rule, India's naval power was reduced, and much of the Indian coastline came under foreign control. Yet, the spirit of seafaring remained. Indian sailors continued to serve under foreign flags, particularly the British Navy, laying the foundations for the modern naval force we know today. In the aftermath of India's independence in 1947, the Indian Navy emerged as a crucial institution in securing the country's maritime borders. Initially, the Navy inherited a small fleet and faced the challenge of rebuilding a naval force capable of defending India's vast coastlines and vast interests. On August 15, 1947, the Indian Navy officially came into being, with its first major role coming in the 1947-48 Kashmir War, where the Navy helped in the evacuation of Indian citizens and provided logistical support. But the defining moment in the Indian Navy's history came in December 1971, during the India-Pakistan War. On December 4th, the Indian Navy played a pivotal role in sinking the Pakistani destroyer PNS Khyber and launching a series of devastating strikes on the Pakistani naval assets in the Arabian Sea. The Navy's bold actions during the war solidified its position as one of the most formidable forces in the region. This victory is why December 4th is celebrated annually as Indian Navy Day, a day to remember the valor, courage, and sacrifice of our sailors. In the years following the 1971 war, the Indian Navy continued to modernize its fleet and expand its capabilities. From the acquisition of aircraft carriers like the INS Vikrant and INS Vikramaditya, to the development of indigenous submarines like the INS Arihant, the Navy has come a long way in establishing itself as a global maritime power. Today, the Indian Navy boasts a fleet of over 130 ships, including aircraft carriers, submarines, and destroyers. The introduction of advanced systems like the P-8I maritime patrol aircraft, long-range surface-to-air missiles, and state-of-the-art sonar systems ensures that the Navy remains at the forefront of naval technology. In addition to defense, the Indian Navy plays a vital role in humanitarian missions and disaster relief operations. Whether it's evacuating citizens during natural disasters, rescuing stranded fishermen, or offering aid to neighboring countries, the Navy is a symbol of India's compassion and international cooperation. The Navy's role extends beyond defense, serving as a tool of diplomacy, strengthening ties with nations across the world. At the heart of every great Navy is the men and women who serve in it, the sailors. These silent warriors, often away from home for months at a stretch, remain steadfast in their mission to protect the nation's waters. They endure harsh conditions, facing the fury of the sea, yet continue their duties with unwavering dedication. As we look toward the future, the Indian Navy stands poised to grow even more powerful. With the development of AI-driven technologies, nuclear-powered submarines, and autonomous vessels, the Navy is embracing the future of warfare. On this Indian Navy Day, we celebrate not just the fleet, the technology, or the victories, but the legacy of sacrifice, the spirit of courage, and the pride of our nation. From the ancient mariners of the Indus Valley to the modern-day sailors guarding our waters, the Indian Navy has always been there, silent but strong, watching over the seas with vigilance. To every sailor, past and present,